Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Too Good to Be True podcast. I am your host, Pascal Mayela. Today I did, yesterday I did cover the game three on my last video, so it is up there on YouTube. Today we are recapping game four of the NBA final between OKC and Indiana. Make sure, like I said, make sure to watch the video of Game 3 on my YouTube channel, and I will talk about it, and also I will talk about Game 4, a little recap of Game 4. So, what did I think about Game 4? I think Game 4, it was a back and forth game. That's all I can say. A back and forth game until the fourth quarter. That's where the Indiana little bit lose their momentum of the last probably last 3 minutes of the game. But sh- kudos to the OKC who tied the series right now 2-2. So game five will be in OKC, and we're gonna recap it. But first, make sure to like, subscribe, notify, and leave your comment on my video on my YouTube channel. Too Good to Be True podcast. Make sure that to subscribe, and let's get a thousand like and 1,000 subscriber on my YouTube channel. And make sure to listen to this podcast on my Spotify, Amazon Music, and Apple Podcast. That being said, here we go. The stat between OKC and Indiana Pacers. So, like I said like I said in a couple of minutes ago, that OKC won Game Four, 111 to 104. Um, what am I talking about this game? Like I said, back and forth. I think SGA showed up, especially in the fourth quarter. Amazing thing what he did in the fourth quarter. But we have to give shout out to Alex Caruso and Lou Dort, because I feel like, yes, even though I do criticize Lou Dort a little bit, but his defensive on Tyrese Haliburton was amazing, especially in the fourth quarter where the money maker shine. So if you look at the stat right now, let's look at the stat. SGA 35 point, 3 rebound, 0 assist. Wow, 0 assist on his stat. Wow, that's impressive. Three steal, one block, shot for 12 and 24 in the field goal, 1 and 4 in the 3 point, and he was on zero. So I don't do the plus minus, but he had zero. Chet Holmgren, 14 point, 15 rebound, one assist, one steal, one block, shot for 49 in the field goal, and he was plus 14 on this one. Jalen Williams, 27 point, 7 rebound, 3 assists, shot for 8 18 on the field goal, 0 and 3 in the 3 points. And let's give shout out to Alex Caruso, 20 point, 3 rebound, 5 steal, 1 block, shot for 7 9 in the field goal, 1 and 2 in the 3 point. Man, let me tell you this. OKC, like I said, we said it's a back and forth game, and this is what I love about the NBA Finals. And the way SGA played the whole quarter, especially in the fourth quarter where they needed the most, was superior. Especially, especially when he did the one move he did. I was pretty worried. I thought he was breaking his feet right now when he drive to the lane. Actually, drive on the left side, did like a step back, and shot it. I thought he was gonna I thought he was gonna miss it, but it went in. So That's why I always say that SGA, you can count him the most. Not just him, but Jalen Williams showed up. Lou Dort showed up. Uh, uh, Jet Holmgren showed up. We talking about a big three. This is a big three, not big three by force. Big three as accidental or coincidental big three. So there's a huge difference. When I say accidental and coincidental big three versus a big three that is forced. Uh, let me just tell you what the difference is. The difference is between when I said a big three, accidental and coincidental. That means it's a big three that came through the draft, not expecting to be in the position. Like an example, like the Golden State Warrior, they drafted Steph, they drafted Clay, they drafted Draymond Green, and he became a dynasty. And yes, they had Kevin Durant, but there was the big three over here. Even though without Kevin Durant in 2022, they won their fourth championship together as the big three. That is a big three accidental coincidental. Now a big three by force is when the free agents are up, three superstar joining together by force. For example, the Miami Heat with Chris Bosh, D Wade, and LeBron James. That was force. So that's what the difference between accidental and coincidental big three versus a forced big three. Now let's get back to the final. And I find it very interesting that SGA did not have a lot of assists. Did not have any assists in the all the fourth quarter. It surprised me, but he went mentality. He went to a aggressive mode. So so we have to give shout out to that. Now let's listen what Alex Caruso got to say post game after their victory against the Pacers in Game 4.
That Shea has 0 assists for the first time in 347 games.
Really?
And you all as a team make three-pointers in the game. You're wondering, why am I talking to you on the step right now?
Probably not expecting to be up here.
Understood. So it's a long answer, I'm sure, layers, but how? How do you all manage to not steal this game, but win this game in the fourth quarter in this building, which is as good as yours at home?
Yeah, I mean, to start, just an unbelievable belief in this group. Like we really believe that we're going to get the job done, night in, night out, no matter what the circumstances are. And then, winning the margins, we got to the paint at a high rate. I think we did a pretty good job at creating turnovers, and then we got to the free throw line. A good amount and made points there. So I don't even know what the offensive rebounds are, but Chet had a couple of big ones in the start of the fourth to give us easy points.
So you heard that what he said. Yeah, he did not expect it to be here in the in the post game whatever it call. But yeah, they shot a lot of three. If you look at the 3 point, if you look at the stat at the 3 point, just the OKC, 3 out of 16 in the 3 point. That means 3% has shot at 3 point. SGA, Lou Dort, and Alex Caruso. That they had 18%. But if you look at their field goal, 37 to 78, 47.4%. That means that SGA, most of the field goal came from SGA and Jalen Williams, but especially SGA. So I want to listen what Mark Degnan got to say.
What did you feel?
Then we'll go back to talk about the Indiana Pacers.
Course of the game, what changed? What for you guys?
Yeah, I just thought we showed great will in the game. I thought, we really hung in there in the third. I thought that was the key to the game because they really had the wind at their back. we had some deflating plays. It was an easy game to give up on, but we kept it within striking distance, 8-10, and then we're able to close in the fourth. I thought Lou, in particular, just set an unbelievable tone defensively in the fourth quarter. That was kind of contagious, but his energy and he was just on it and was very impressive. Got great performances from a lot of guys, but I thought he really kind of swung the game with his approach when he went back in the game.
First row on the right. Mark down 4 with a few minutes left. Kind of felt like your season was on the line there. What did you see from Shea to get you home?
Yeah, I mean he's unreal. Obviously, really closed that thing offensively. He and Dub, did a great job there. Just execution wise, the shot making, he was outstanding. But I just thought the whole team, that was an uphill game against a great team. I mean, this is one of the best teams in the league in the last couple months since All-Star break, and they're a hard team to beat here. They're a hard team to beat, period, obviously. So I just thought we gutted it out on a night where we really didn't have a lot going, especially offensively.
You heard what Mark Digno said. This showed that our capacity to win as others actually places the arena, and I think that they play very good. Now let's get to the Indiana Pacers stat. Okay, Tyrese Haliburton, 18 points, 2 rebounds, 7 assists. He was plus one. He got 2 steals. Shot for 7 and 15 on the field goal. 1 and 7 in the 3 point. Pascal Siakam, 20 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, 5 steals, 1 block. Shot for 6 and 15 in the field goal, 2 and 6 in the 3 point. He was plus 7. Miles Turner, 12 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists. Shot for 3 and 10 in the field goal, 0 and 6 in the 3 point. He was -6, which it wasn't good at all. Uh, Andrew Nembhard, 10 points, 2 assists, 2 steals, two steals, 2 assists, 1 block. Shot for 4 and 9 in the field goal, 2 and 4 in the 3 point. He was +3. Obi Toppin, 17 points. 7 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, 1 block. Shot for 7 and 12 on the field goal, 2 and 5 on the 3 point. He was -15. So what am I thought about this? The Pacers. Man, let me tell you something. Tyrese Haliburton got a little bit back down to earth a little bit. We saw in game 3 he was aggressive. Game 4 he got 18 points. He wasn't that aggressive. He was aggressive, but not that aggressive. But I I told you, I think the Indiana Pacers, the only way they're gonna lose if their leader doesn't show up scoring plus 28 points, 20 plus points. And Tyrese Haliburton is one of them. And yes, I still call him a superstar. But if you look at the Indiana Pacers, yes, it was a back and forth game, but especially in the third quarter, they were up big. And I don't know what happened in the fourth quarter. It felt like they were a little bit nervous. And Miles Turner, like I said, he got 12 points and he had -6. That means it wasn't that good. I think that I don't know. OKC defense did something to Miles Turner to put him on in the bench, and and that's the case um that they need to win the road game in game 5 in OKC, so that Tyrese, um, Miles Turner, Pascal Siakam will do okay. He'll be fine because he been to the finals. He can score 20 plus points, and the bench did not really produce. Like like Benedict Mathurin, T.J. McConnell, Ben Shepherd. Those your bench need to step up. So they didn't play very well on the home court. But let's listen what Rick Carlisle got to say after the loss.
Rick, you all had 20
So let me go. Hold on, my bad.
assists in the first three quarters, but only one in the fourth. What do you think caused that?
A lot of the same stuff I was just talking about. You know, an inability to come up with rebounds, an inability to get key stops was a part of it. And then, we just got too stagnant. The ball was not being advanced quickly enough. We weren't creating problems, and we were up against the clock a lot. So things got very difficult, but you got to give Oklahoma credit. I mean, they made it very difficult.
You heard what Rick Carlisle said. Yes, they made him. They made him what they made. They made him confused. Made him in trouble. So that's why I think even though it was a back four game, but especially in the fourth quarter, like I said, they made him confused, a little bit panicking. So that's what was weird to me. But let's listen. Tyrese Haliburton gotta say in in the in in the press
If I tell
conference
you,
after the if I can look for it. If I can't, hold on.
Rick, you all had 20 assists in the first three quarters, but only one in the fourth.
Let's
What do
look.
you think caused
Problems, and we're
Let's
up against the
listen to
clock a
this.
lot.
Sorry,
So
my
things got
apologize
very
because
difficult, but you got to give Oklahoma credit.
yeah, this is
I
what
think
Tyrese
with
got saying.
with Shea, he's so good. He's so slippery, in between those gaps. It's like he splits screens that you're like, I don't know how he's doing that. Uh, and I think in game two specifically, if you watch a lot of my coverages, I did a poor job of being at the level. I was back, and then he could come off, and he had so much space, and now he's kind of manipulating me with in and out, or he can just split and throw through. I thought we had that was something we really had to clean up coming into today, and you're consistently trying to mix things up because if you give any good player the same look over and over, it can be really tough. So, whatever it is, a show at the level, I just can't be flat. If I'm flat, there's nothing I can do with him coming downhill. So, just consistently trying to grow. And as you know, it never is like always perfect. Sometimes you got to figure it out. And, I think the big thing that makes it easier is when Drew is really blowing through, those screens. And, I think more times than not, he's getting held and having to fight through. And it's the finals, it's physical basketball. But I thought he did a great job of really fighting through. And if I can just hold him for a second, give him more time to get back square, it makes things easier. So just got to do a better job of being at the level, presenting myself as much as I can. Because if I'm back, he's really tough cover.
on your
So you heard what um uh not SGA but Tyrese got to say. I mean SGA is a problem.
if I tell
SGA is a
you
problem.
before the game,
Is a problem. So I think game five they need to find a strategy. So let's read the stat at the team stat. So I'm reading the team stat right now. So if you look at the field goal, 42% in the field goal, which that means that Tyrese Haliburton got more field goal than Pascal and Miles Turner and equal with Aubrey Toppin. But if you look at the 3 point, 11 out of 36, that's 30%, which probably mean that like what, like 7% shot threes, uh, more players shot than once. That's a problem. The turnover, I think, if you compare to OKC turnover, I mean, I mean, they're pretty little bit close. that I suspected. But Indiana Pacers made a lot of turnover, believe me, and that a lot of turnover. Sorry, a lot of turnover in the game. So this is going to be a huge important game for Game Five because I said it. I said it before that this OKC Indiana Pacers could go to 7. It could go to 7, and I wish it could go to 7 because I always say this: Game 7 is probably the most intense game in NBA final history. Yeah, and yes, I do not like Game 7, me personally, but when it's two good teams facing Game 7, you know you're hype. You're hyped for it. So I can't wait to see Game 5, and I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you for listening to my podcast. And I want to give a shout out to people who listen to this podcast in Canada, in the United States, Philippines, even Africa, in Europe, France, Spain, England, Ireland, even in the Caribbean, everywhere around the world. Thank you very much. I couldn't do this without you, and let's continue to do this podcast for the future. So thank you very much. Make sure to listen to this podcast on, like I said, YouTube, on my YouTube channel, Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Podcast. If you want to follow me on social media, follow me on Instagram, Pascal underscore Mayala underscore 15. Same thing with threads. In my Facebook, you can follow me by the name of Pascal Mayala. On X, formerly Twitter, is at Belly versus PMM. Let me repeat that for last time. At Belly versus PMM on X, formerly Twitter. And that being said, thank you very much. And I'll see you next time that we have to recap Game 5.